Hey, Satanico here for God Loves Comics, and I am recording the third straight comic book haul video tonight after not recording any videos for months and months and months. So I'm going to rattle off three really quickly. This time we're going with comic book magazines because I just picked up a couple of batches, a couple of orders on a whim, and they were really good prices, so just thought I'd pick up some reading material. Start off with back issue. A guy had several batches of these, like some like four issues, and some were like 10 issues, and a couple were collectibles apparently. Like one with a Superman cover, for whatever reason, was like selling for, he wasn't selling it for $92. The bidding was up to $92. But I got, so I think I bid on something else and I didn't get it, and I was like, I'll try again with these others, just so I'll have something to read. Not that I'm too interested. I bought a couple of issues of back issue way back when I saw them on a Barnes & Noble shelf or something, and then let them sit around for years and years and years, and then suddenly I was in a mood and I read a couple, and they were pretty interesting. Obviously they have some good interviews and a lot of good backstories on Bronze Age comics. So anyway, this one's about Defenders. Not sure who did this cover. Pretty nice cover. But actually, Bronze Age B teams actually should be very fun to especially to hear what the creators have to say about working on these. I liked the Champions, and I liked the Defenders a lot. I mean, obviously, Steve Gerber is no longer around, but John Byrne actually did a fair amount of work on the Champions. I think Bob Brown did some issues, too, early on, but the John Byrne stuff was really good. Guardians of Galaxy obviously became, big movie hit, and Inhumans, not such a good TV show. In fact, one of the worst ever, but pretty good series. I liked it too. Legion of Substitute Heroes, really funny. Teen Titans West, never saw it. Peter David's X Factor, never saw it, but should be interesting. And then flip side is number 84, or is that 64? Can't even tell. I think it's 6. Backup series issue, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and Black Canary, Whatever Happened to Metamorpho, Goodwin and Simonson's Manhunter. I'll be interested in that. Pasco and Giffen's Dr. Fate. I like Dr. Fate, so sure there'll be something interesting there. And we've got number 66. I'm sure the other side is number 55. Superstars Studded Team Up issue. Marvel Team Up. I love Marvel Team Up. I love Marvel 2-in-1. Two of the funnest Bronze Age comics ever. And again, you got some really good art in those comics at times. Particularly John Byrne's issues. George Perez, of course. Sal Buscema, when he was doing some early 2-in-1, did some really good work for 2-in-1 at that time. And Frank Miller, of course, I think did a little bit of Marvel Team Up as well, the first Daredevil appearance. And then you've got Supervillain Team Up, another really fun series. I think it only lasted 16 issues, but I had several of them. X-Men New Teen Titans, that was a classic. DC Comics presents Super Teen Family, Shazam, Superman Smackdowns, blah blah blah, the Batman of Earth B. Okay. And again, I was going to say, not sure of this cover. Ridiculous. Of course, it's Gil Kane. It's Gil Kane as inked by Terry Austin. So awesome. Of course, pretty classic Hulk pose that Gil Kane did. And then the flip side is one I don't know very much about, but should be interesting. It's got a really nice cover by Mike Mignola, and is Brian Augustine and Mike Mignola's Tale of Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Also, articles on Booster Gold, Kang, Karate Kid, X-Men Days of Future Past, and more with Dan Jurgens, Bob Wayne, and Louis Shiner, an exclusive interview with P. Craig Russell. So I'm actually very interested to hear Craig Russell's interview. He's still very active on Facebook, even though he doesn't really... Yeah, he's very active on Facebook. There's nothing else to say. And then let's get to the real meat. By the way, that those 4 comics, I mean those 4 back issues, cost me $11. Of course, it cost I think it was I don't know, it was like $7 or $8 for shipping, so it ended up being about 20. But picking up these, actually looking at them, they're $8.95. Wow, pretty pricey. So, and they all look brand new, so it's definitely a good buy. Then we've got this huge brick. Look at that. What could it be? Well, I'm actually maybe more excited about this than any of the comics I bought, because I've always been a fan. I have some of these issues, but this is, I believe, let's see, I think I got 10 copies of the Comics Journal, and I got them for $30. 10 copies. Maybe 10, maybe 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 copies of the Comics Journal for $30. And they were in very nice shape based on what they look like online. Let's see. Yeah. And some of the best issues. That's why they weren't just toss-off issues. I had to pay only $10. The guy had, I think, yeah, $10 with tax. You know, that's the thing, extra. So it ended up being $40. But the guy had them listed for shipping for $16. And I just messaged him and said, hey, can you ship these media mail for $5? And he said, how about $7? And I was like, okay, good. So, you know, save a bit of money, $9 just on shipping. So first off, and I'm already happy, one of my favorite issues ever. Obviously, my favorite comic ever, one of my favorite issues ever, the fantastic interview with the brothers Hernandez, Jaime and Gilbert, and even Harlan Ellison of Philistine in Yuppie Land. Probably at the time when Gary Groth had a huge falling out with Harlan Ellison. I should know everything. I should know it by heart because I've read this issue multiple times. It's a back cover. Some of the stuff from Catalan Communications, EU stuff, including Milo Manara. But this is the main attraction. I already have this issue, of course, and have read it many times. It's actually mine. The cover is falling off, so this is actually a bit of an upgrade. So, I'm just happy to have a more intact copy. But there were a couple of duplicates here, and I just bought them along with the whole stash because $30. Actually, I see Comics Journal online now. You'll see them on eBay, and people almost always have them for sometimes $15, $20. Sometimes I see them for $30, $40, depending on the issue. And so it was a fantastic price, including this one. This is definitely a sought-after issue. And this is another duplicate. I already have this issue. I've been rereading it just recently. And it's an amazing issue. I mean, amazing interview with Al Feldstein. Amazing interview with George Evans. Will Elliott is very interesting too, but, and beautiful cover by William Stout. So, I even like to include Aces High there. Also, often doesn't get, inclusion in these. But, man, awesome and in beautiful condition. Again, looks almost unread. Obviously, I have this issue, and my issue's in really nice condition. But, I mean, so I don't really need a second copy. But if you're going to get a second copy, these are two of the most sought after, particularly anything with DC. And next up, another duplicate. I have this one as well, but I don't mind. The price was right. And this is a Frank Frazetta cover and interview. Very short interview, if I remember correctly. Also, Dave Sim analyzed. You can see that's not going to be flattering. Renee French sketchbook. Acme Novelty Library reviewed. Maybe this is when they officially put it in the Pantheon, actually, after all. The Fantagraphics Pantheon, of course. That's number 174. Comics EC issue was 177. There are actually, at least there are 2 EC issues like this. There's another one I also have that's really good with William Gaines on the cover. But anyway, those are 3 duplicates. They're all in beautiful condition, so happy to have them. Maybe resell them. I'm not sure. And then I don't have this one, and again, beautiful condition. Joe KUBERT, The Interview. Nice. Looking forward to that. I love the interviews, as anyone would, and I love the ephemera. Even when it's dated, there's so much juicy stuff in almost every issue, especially from this era. Some of the later era, not so much, but this era, there's lots of really cool stuff. Boneyard Press. Hey man, that's an outlaw comic, dude. That's my impersonation. And a review of Poison River by Anne Rubenstein. But, yeah. The joy will be the lengthy interview with Joe KUBERT. Joe KUBERT, who Steve Bissette revealed in an interview, was ambidextrous. Could sit at his drawing board and would actually have pen or brush in both hands and be drawing with both hands. Amazing, amazing. Deadlines. Number 1, Gary. Number 2, DC. Number 3, Marvel. Number 4, Hasbro. Sergeant Savage. So Gary Groth was the top of his list there. I'm sure that's not really the case, but and speaking of masters, how about that one? Jack Kirby, reminiscences, tributes, and critical commentary on the King. From Chester Brown, Rick Veitch, Don Heck, Joe Sinnott, Jim Woodring, Marie Severin, Alan Moore, R.C. Harvey, Mark Schultz, Alex Toth. Wow, they got Alex Toth to say something. Richard Corbin, Stan Lee, and many more. And the cover is by Jaime. I didn't know that. That doesn't even look like Jaime. Looks almost more like Drew Friedman. That does not look like a Jaime, but there he is. You can see the signature. And obviously Jaime and the brothers loved Jack Kirby, as any true comics fan did. I have not ever seen this issue. It's a Joe Sinnott beautiful tribute of a teary-eyed thing. It's actually very moving in a way. And this was, I don't know what year this was. Let's see. Well, I'm not sure what year, but obviously Joe Sinnott lived on for decades and only passed away very recently. I think late last year. Yeah, very recently, and in his 90s, and was still, his hand was as steady as it ever was. So amazing. Really happy to have that one. This is a really nice Christmas present from my perspective. Now, I've seen this cover many times. I've seen, no big deal there. See, you can see Jack Kirby, 1917 to 1994. And this is issue... What issue is this? 166. And then 167 is essentially the eulogy with all of these artists commenting on the passing of Jack Kirby. Major, major event in comics. I guess couldn't get any bigger than that, really. And a major tragedy that he was still so young. So, really great to have these issues back to back. Man, fantastic. And the Byrne Hogarth interview, which I'm looking forward to reading. I'm sure I've read bits and pieces, or maybe the whole thing, but I'm really looking forward to it. Reading it in full. Looks like some CRUMB, one that I don't have as well. Lost Girls writer Alan Moore, and the infamous Anton Drek, no thanks. And The Dirty Old Man, CRUMB. Wow. Man, what a feast. As I said, some of these are duplicates, but just the last 3 or 4 I do not own. And then, going way back, The Wayback Machine. Looks like a Dennis Fujitaki 1978 cover on Neil Adams interview. Neil Adams' favorite, most famous characters: Deadman, Batman, Robin, Green Lantern, of course. Ditko back at Marvel, so that's one of the news items. The Lord of the Rings preview, which I assume is a comic, of course, unless could be the Ralph Bakshi. You can see the typeface and everything was a lot more primitive. This is one of the older issues. The older issues are sometimes not as entertaining, but they do start to get a little bit dated, but still. Ditko's Eisner Swipe. Okay, I'm already interested. Yeah, cool. And they have some fan art and stuff. This is number 43, so that's way back. Might be the earliest issue I have. I'm not sure. I've got a couple early ones, too. Okay, get back. This is 56. Roy Thomas quits Marvel for DC. That was big news back then. Michael Fleischer, an interview with Jonah Hex's alter ego. Cool. I think I probably have this one. Looks familiar. Guido Krepax, Juice Swart, Gaseki Kojima, and Hergé, of course. And Mobius. What am I thinking? Mobius. Comics from the Rest of the World. Pretty sure I have that one as well. Again, a fantastic issue. I can easily sell probably 3 of these and make back what I purchased for the whole batch, which is awesome. And then I don't have this one. John Byrne leaves the Fantastic Four. This is still news too, and this is 106. Meanwhile, they have a true life weirdo interview with R. Crumb and Peter Bagge. So now we get almost back to back. Well, not really, but I mean, I've got 2 R. Crumb interviews, which is pretty cool as well. And finally, this will be exciting as well, the Howard Chaykin interview. Discussing the shadow, sex, American flag, violence, time to, and selling out. Comics Journal always pretty harshly critical of a lot of these artists, including Howard Chaykin. I remember a really fascinating and, review, I should say, of Black Kiss, which was basically porn. I don't know. It's kind of weird, though, because Fantagraphics obviously made their bones on selling porn through the Eros line for a long time before they started just getting their hands on a lot of mainstream stuff like, and the Charles Schultz library and stuff like that. But anyway, regardless. So that's another really great haul of, and this time magazines, 4 back issues, 12 Comics Journals, some duplicates, but some amazing, amazing reads, including the death of Jack Kirby over 2 issues, which is very sad, but that's it. I'm very happy with those purchases. Very, very cheap and very, very worth and enough reading material to last the rest of my short life. So thanks very much. And once again, like, comment, subscribe. I will be uploading 3 videos back to back to back, presumably. So hopefully you'll watch them all. Thanks very much for listening, and see you next time on God Loves Comics. Goodbye.